Hey all, I hope you're doing well. Today I'm going to be talking about goal setting. I'm going to be going through some goals that I've set. I spent a lot of time on this recently, longer than you'd think. I'm going to talk about why I think goal setting is so important, not just in business, but in your personal life. And then I'm going to relate it to the theme of accountability, and I'm going to set a challenge for you. I guess one of the big reasons I'm doing a video on this and not just doing it behind the scenes is because I want to be accountable. If I say I'm going to do X by the end of the week or by the end of the month and put it out there and I don't do it, then, well, yeah, the whole world can see it, and I think it's more likely that I'll get it done with having some accountability. So without further ado, let's get on with it. So, why set goals? Why have I set goals? I think one big reason is motivation. In the goal setting process, which I'll talk about, the way I start is I sort of vision my life in 10 years' time and go, where do I want to be? And while that's not the easiest of questions to answer, it can get you thinking about what's your sort of ideal life and how are you going to get there. And clearly, this is going to be your ideal in a way. So it is motivating if you go, okay, I've got to do these tasks which you've set out to achieve these goals, or these small goals that will achieve bigger goals, then you know, okay, I'm doing this because I want to get to here. And this also leads on to a really important point about your goal setting. You've got to have a good reason for wanting it. You can't just go, I suppose you could go, okay, I want to be a millionaire by the time I'm 30, or by the time in 10 years time, or by the time I'm 50, or whatever, or I want to retire in 5 years. It's like, why do you want £1 million? Oh, 'cause I want a nice car. Or why do you not want a nice car? I think you get the idea. Well, I hope so, at least. In order to be motivating, you need to have a good reason why you're doing it. You need to, when you're doing some shitty task or things aren't going well, you need to have that drive that will push you forward, knowing why you're doing what you're doing. And if that just is to get a nice car, is your motivation really going to be there? Think about some of the biggest lows you had during your business or your personal life. If you just see a nice car at the end of it, is that really going to help you? I know for me personally, some of my goals I've sort of factored more towards sort of family, personal pride in my appearance, that kind of thing. And they're not, I've sort of thought, this is why it's taken so long, because I thought deeply about why I want these goals. And I'm well aware that I'm waffling on here, but I think this is a really important sort of few points in that you got to be very, well, just take a lot of time in setting your goals and thinking why you want to set them. So moving on to the next point, it helps you structure your time better. So once you've set your goals and you've got a clear sort of line of tasks that are going to help you achieve this goal. So say, for example, you did want to achieve or earn $1 million, and you go, okay, to do that, I've got to make, I don't know, 1,000 or 10,000 or 100,000 sales of my product at X and have X margin and have Y margin or whatever. And you break it down into, okay, I need to call this amount of people every day for this amount of time. And then you know you've got to go, okay, I've got to call this amount of people today. And you go and do it, and you go, okay, I've got to allocate that. And I've got to do this task, and you allocate that. And I hope that makes sense. So it's sort of, you know what task you've got to do, and you've got to do, you've actually got to do them in order to achieve your goals. But yeah, next point. Sort of linked to that is more productive. I don't know about you guys, but I find a lot of the time I can sort of just stare at a screen and go, just kind of, I don't know, maybe just checking through my emails or sort of working hard, but not really working smart. I think an hour doing something that's really going to add a lot of value, as opposed to a few hours just checking your emails or whatever, that you're doing work, but it's not really helping that much. I think you can kind of get the idea. So by having a better structure kind of leads into better productivity, and your motivation will help with your productivity. Yeah. So yeah, as I sort of mentioned here, it helps to actively work towards where I want to be in the long term. This is kind of hard for me, and I suppose it's hard for most people. I'm still a university student. I'm going to be studying abroad next year, and then when I finish uni, I'm planning on going back to Australia, where I live for 6 months. I currently live in the UK, so I guess that's quite a lot happening. And after that, I don't really know what I'm going to be. Things change, but this is kind of, and this is important as well, your goals are going to be flexible, but wherever I am, I'm still going to, I think, want to have some of my physical goals. I'm going to have some of my like relationship-based goals, business-type goals, and yes, things may change, but if I'm actively working towards bettering myself and enjoying my life more, it's going to help in the long run. And if I can be more productive, for example, and I can get a lot done faster, then I'll have more free time to do other things that I want. So for example, now I guess is a good example. I've got quite a lot of time over my Easter holidays from uni where I'm getting loads of stuff done on the business front. I'm really enjoying it, but I'm getting a lot done. And then when I have my exams, I've planned ahead. I know these exams are coming, then I can focus on them. And then once those exams are out of the way, I'll have a lot of free time again. And then I know I'm going to be in the USA, probably have a bit less time because I want to enjoy myself, kind of thing. And yeah, I hope you sort of get the idea. It's sort of just a lot of it's like planning, so you're organized. And yeah, I hope that sort of covers why I set goals. I know I've spent a lot of time on it, but I think it is really important. I think the big thing to realize is that it takes ages. Well, it doesn't have to, but I think the more time you put into this, the more you get out of it. So accountability, I guess accountability is important for consistency. Sure, you can spend hours setting these goals, but unless you work towards them for days, months, well, I miss weeks, but yeah, weeks, months, years to come, then there's not really that much point. You need to be consistent in your approach. Good theory shares a slight edge. It's not, if you have one day off, it's not the end of the world, but if you have 300 days off, it starts to go a bit pear-shaped. So accountability, I guess, helps with that, keeps you on track. I think one way to do this is what I'm doing now. Other way is just to sort of chat to someone, one of your friends, one of your family members, tell them what you're thinking goal-wise, and then they can go to you, oh, how are you getting on with that thing that you want to do, or whatever. So for me personally, I'm going to be reviewing each week. I'm going to have sort of tasks at a minimum that I want to get done each week relating to different sort of families of goals. So when I say family, so one might be financial, or one might be health related, that kind of thing. And so I'm going to have tasks, which you'll see in a minute, that I'm going to review each week. Excuse me. So the actual goal setting process, I've talked about this a bit, so I'm not going to, I'll try not to spend too much time, but at the start I sort of try and vision where I want to be in the future, in the long-term future, and then I'll use that to derive shorter-term goals. So I might go, in 10 years I want, I don't know, to have a partner, so a wife, and be happy with her. And so how do I do that? I might go, okay, well, on a day-to-day basis, I'm going to improve my sort of physical appearance. I'm going to make more of an effort with people in general. I'm going to maybe force myself to, say force probably a bad word, but I might go out of my way to socialize. Not just, I say this personally because I spend a lot of time at university going nights out getting drunk, and it's probably not the best way to socialize with people. But yeah, so I guess, I don't know if that's the best example, but hopefully it's all about relating it to you, sort of where you want to be in the long-term future, and then going, okay, what do I have to do in 5 years' time? Smaller goals are going to get me there, and then in a year, what are my goals that are going to work towards that sort of 10-year ideal, and then in the near future, okay, on a monthly basis, what is my goal that's going to lead to the 1-year goal, to the 5-year goal, to the 10-year goal. And so you're just breaking it down into smaller and smaller tasks. And then what I've done, I've got these smaller goals, and I'll have, okay, on a weekly basis, I need to do at least this. So for example, it might be, yesterday, if you watched the video, I talked about how I'm going to be speaking to some specialists in their areas and interviewing them. So I might go, okay, I need to contact at least 5 of these people each week, because I know that on average I'll get 1 out of 5 to agree to something, and then I can go, okay, well then I've got 1 each week. So that's the kind of thing. It's like I've broken it down from, in 10 years time I might be something business related in terms of an audience or whatever, and then I've gone on a weekly basis I need to do X. Yeah, hope that makes sense. Yeah, it's about relating to you really. Excuse me. So anyway, I've also got shorter term goals that don't particularly relate to the future, I guess, long-term future. So for example, one of my goals is to study in the USA next year, and I've already made lots of progress towards that. I mean, unless something goes majorly wrong, I will be studying there next year. But for example, as a condition of this, I've got to get a 2-1 this year. And while last year I did really well in my studies, I came second in my year, did really well. This year I've had other focuses, I guess, and so I think I'll get a 2-1. But it's sort of going, okay, how do I spend the least amount of time to get that 2-1, and then I can have more time for the business, which I enjoy, or going out socializing, whatever. And it's how do I go about, because I don't really enjoy I enjoy university, but I don't really enjoy the course, the studying, the exams, and that kind of thing. So like, how do I go about the least amount of stress or whatever to go and achieve my goals? And so laying that out. Yeah, but yeah, that short-term goal is, so they don't all have to link to long-term future. It's, again, it just relates to you, and it's about thinking about meaningful goals that I talked about earlier, as opposed to just plucking stuff out of the air. I've tried to focus on processes as opposed to results. So I think this is in terms of how I achieve my goals or whatever. So physically wise, I might go, okay, I'm going to go to the gym 4 times a week. I'll obviously detail that more. What am I going to be doing at the gym or whatever. And then on a weekly basis, I'll be like, when I'm actually going to go. And instead of going, okay, I'm going to go from, I don't know, 20% body fat to 5%, I'm just making those numbers up. I'm going, okay, well, at least if I'm doing my processes and I'm putting the work in, I know that I'm going to be getting results. And this might not be the right way to go about it, but I think it's what I prefer, really. I think as long as I'm putting the work in and I'm putting the work in, then I suppose then I'll be getting results. I think a better example would be in business. Say you're doing the right things, there is luck involved at the end of the day. No one can, I mean, you can take steps against some outcomes, but you could be selling a product and then, I don't know, your stock gets burnt down or whatever. And yeah, you could have insurance or whatever, but I guess an online arbitrage, for example, who really has insurance on their stock? I don't know. I'm just making stuff up here, but what I'm trying to say is that I prefer processes, because as long as I'm doing the right things, I think I'll get the right results, but I don't really want to worry about the results too much, because I think that'll come if I'm doing the right things. And yeah, as I've sort of touched upon, laying out how to achieve the long-term goals takes ages, because I'm trying to be as specific as possible. I'm using SMART goal setting, but I'm trying to be really specific, breaking it down from where I want to be in the long-term future to tasks I'm going to be doing on a daily basis, a weekly basis, monthly basis, in order to achieve these. And so that's what really takes a long time. But it's this investment in time now that's going to save me time in the future. So if I know, for example, I've got a list of daily tasks that I do. And if I can wake up and go, okay, I've got to do this, 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 and then I'm sort of done those daily tasks, and I can do whatever else I need to do for that day that I've allocated. It saves time, it makes me more productive, because I'm not then sat there staring at a screen going, oh, what do I need to do, or procrastinating or whatever. I know I've got to do this, 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 and then I've sort of done it, and I hope that makes sense. But it's breaking it down into those tasks, and I think it's figuring out how you're going to do it, and then that makes you more productive. And it also means you're staying focused and working towards those goals. And then when you do that, when I do my reflection, my review each week, and I can go, okay, I can see that I'm making progress in these areas, instead of going, because some days I sort of turn around and I go, I don't really feel like I've got much done today, when in reality I probably have, but at least this way I know, okay, I've got all these things done, and it's a nice feeling. But yeah. Okay, so actually onto some of the goals now. I'm not going to go into too much detail, because as I said, I've sort of broken it down a lot, and I've got pages of writing. I've got it on my screen next to me now. But yeah, so I'm just going to go through a few of these goals and talk about them briefly as an example. I know this video is dragging on, but I do think it's an important topic. I do try and keep my video lengths down, but honestly, yeah, I think this is really important to me personally, so that's why I'm talking about it in detail. But yeah, anyway, so the USA study abroad, as I mentioned, it's something I want to do more as a short-term goal because I just want to do it. I think it's something that'll be awesome. I think I'll really enjoy it. But so this is kind of the idea of how I've broken it down. I've done most of the application stuff, but in order to go, I need to get a 2-1 this year. So then I've broken it down as to how I'm going to get a 2-1. I've broken down what am I on currently, what do I need to do, when am I going to do it. So for example, after Easter, I'm not worrying about anything uni work related until after Easter. That Monday when I go back, I'm starting then, and then I've got a process, a plan of things of what I'm going to do. The other thing is staying up to date. So I've got on a weekly task, I check my school, my university email to make sure I'm not missing anything on the application. And that's kind of the detail that I'm talking about here. I'm not going to go into everything as detailed here. As I said, I just wanted to make it an overview because I don't want to make the video too long. But yeah, I hope this is of value to you guys because it is to me anyway. But yeah, and then I've sort of talked about what I want to do when I'm there. I went to Australia, as I mentioned, for 6 months during a gap year. And whilst I absolutely loved it, I kind of felt like, in a way, I didn't make the most of it because I didn't really travel that. I mean, I did, but I think I could have done more. And while I really enjoyed it, I think I could have enjoyed it even more. So when I go to the USA, I want to have an idea of, okay, what do I want to see when I'm out there? I don't just want to go there for 9 months and sit around in the pool and do the odd thing and just go about like day to day. I think I'll really enjoy it doing that. But I think I'll enjoy it even more if I have a plan of what I want to do. And then from there, I can budget more effectively. So I know, okay, I want to go and see, I don't know, LA. I know that's going to cost quite a lot. So then I can add it onto the total cost and I can know how much money I'm going to need. And then I've also thought about the effect this is going to have on my business. A lot of it's from laptops, so I don't think it'll be too big a deal. I've looked from sort of a tax point of view. It doesn't look like it's going to be that big of a deal. But prep for the Amazon side of things is obviously one thing I'm not going to be able to do myself. And so that's leading me on to one of my tasks that I'm talking about. So in this area of one of my goals, my one task is going to be speak to my mum regarding prep because she currently helps me every second week on a Friday to prep. And when I'm in the US, obviously I'm going to be gone. So what I'm looking at doing provisionally is using the prep center, and then my mum will do the few items that I do collection from, like Argos, boots, and then prep, and then she would prep them herself, and then all the rest of the stuff will go to a prep center. But that's this week's task on that side of things. And so now I've kind of gone through that in a bit of detail. You can I hope you can understand that each of these points have got a lot of layers behind them. It's not like I've just gone, oh, I want to study abroad, done. I've gone, what I want to study abroad, why do I want to do it, and then I've laid out in detail how I'm going to do it. Yeah. So I want to grow the iGen entrepreneur brand. Broken this down into sort of 5 main social media channels, I guess. Website's not really, so not really, but yeah, whatever. YouTube, the website, which iGenentrepreneur.com recently released, the Facebook group, which I'll link in the description along with the website, and then Instagram and Twitter, which I've made accounts there, but I haven't really used them at all, so I want to get them going. And yeah, I mean, YouTube-wise, I've mentioned I'm going to be doing videos once a week on a Wednesday at the very least. I'm going to be getting some specialists on, talking to them. Website-wise, I want to actively be improving it. I'm allocating time on a weekly or bi-weekly basis where I'm chunks of time where I'm working on the website type of stuff, which also leads into my affiliate marketing things, because a lot of the stuff I work on with the website, the skills I learned there, I can implement in the affiliate marketing business, which I haven't really touched on here that much, but it's more of a long-term thing. Yeah, blog posts I want to do. A lot of that will just be maybe posts I do in the Facebook group that are informational, like sort of guides in more detail on the website. But yeah, Facebook group, I'm going to continue trying to post at least once a day, trying to gain more members actively. Instagram, Twitter, start using. And then my task for the end of the week in this area is to meet the content requirements I laid out for myself and to get an Instagram and Twitter account set up. Hi, Damien. Okay, so this isn't really like in a vain way. I heard someone sort of say this, I can't remember who it was, a while back, and I want to get to the stage where I'm sort of happy with my appearance, and yeah, I guess it's I guess it's kind of an appearance thing. I guess a lot of my time through life, I've taken the too much don't give a shit what people think. And while that's cool, I think, yeah, oh, this is something I just want to work on personally. Like, I want to improve my body, health wise. I suppose this isn't really so to do with dating me, but I just want to, I think I can eat better than I am. And a lot of it's because I haven't been planning. I think I've got good intentions a lot of the time, but when you look in your fridge and you don't really have that much and you can just grab something out the freezer or whatever, it's hard. So a lot of that's planning, and then general appearance. Like, yeah, I guess asking myself that question. Yeah, I'm not going to go into this too much. I guess it's kind of personal, but it's just an example of one for me where it's not really that monetary. It's not, yeah, it's more just something it's related to me very much. I know where I want to be, and so I'm going to work towards that. And so, for example, I've broken it down to 3 sections. So I need to, this week, go to the gym at least 3 times. I want to be going 4 times a week, but I do play quite a bit of cricket, so it's kind of balancing with that. I don't want to be, playing cricket when I'm pretty sore, but yeah. I've already been a couple of times this week, so that should be fine. Health-wise, I want to do some diet research. I want to get to the stage soon where I've actually got a plan where got sort of like a list of meals, a list of groceries I'm ordering on repeat, that sort of thing. And then I want to buy some new clothes. I don't really get that many new clothes. I've got quite a lot of old stuff, which I don't really like, but I kind of wear just because. But yeah, anyway. Excuse me. On a personal development front, I want to brush up on my routines. I say at the bottom there, refresh these. I do have, I think I talked about it, a list of tasks that I do when I wake up in the morning. Morning routine is quite a big thing to me that I'm working on. I've got a list of daily tasks, weekly tasks, and monthly tasks. I just want to brush up on those, basically. That's my task for this week. Public speaking is one thing I want to do. I'm kind of just not in a huge rush to do this. I'm kind of waiting on an opportunity. I've got a couple of ideas there. Uncomfortable situations. Yeah, I suppose just it's trying to, I guess it's hard to lay this one out, but it's trying to put myself, I'm trying to think of a good example here. So for a lot of people, I don't know, I guess public speaking is one. It's an uncomfortable situation. Or going, I guess networking is a good example. Some people are quite introverted, and just going and shaking someone's hands and introducing yourself, which is, it's not the easiest thing to do, but it's rewarding. And the more you do those kind of things, the easier to get. So it's something I'm proactively working on consciously to do. And then on the learning front, I haven't really outlined how I'm going to do this yet, but reading more books, listening to audiobooks and YouTube content that's on a personal development note. So stuff like the 4-hour work week. In terms of the Amazon business, I want to keep up my current momentum. Really, there's not that much I'm working on. A lot of the stuff I'm just doing bit by bit. So I guess one example here is like what I mean is I'm trying to slowly scale how much I'm doing. But one improvement I made recently is I did a bit of research into reverse searching kind of thing. I'm not going to go into too much detail. I might do a video on it, but it's a sourcing method that I've worked on. It's been on my list for a long time, and I've done that improvement. Next things I want to do, Profit Protector Pro reprice is coming out. It's in beta at the moment. I don't think you can actually sign up right now. I think they're doing a new sign up in a bit, but I'll be doing a video review on that when I can. That's a repricer. So that's one improvement I'm going to make. Sellable is another improvement I'm going to make. I'm not going to do these all at the same time. It's going to be like one at a time type thing. VA, I'm not going to be doing this until after my exams. I've sort of got schedules for these roughly, but I've kind of got my brother still working for me, so he's doing that kind of thing anyway. And wholesale is something I'm working on, but it's going to be taking a back foot for now, mainly because of exams. I've spoken to a few wholesalers. I'm going to be working on stuff in the background, which I'm sure when I speak to Andy, he'll go over it. If not, I'll sort of talk about it, things that I'm doing to make myself more attractive to wholesalers. I don't want to go into too much detail here because of the time, but yeah, there's some exciting stuff there I'm looking forward to in the sort of slightly longer term. Yeah, planning's a big thing here with the exams in the USA coming up. I sort of touched on it a bit. I've spent time. I've done the pages on this. That's in more detail there. Don't want to bore you here though. And then just general planning. I guess I said I want to keep the current momentum. I'm happy with that, but I do feel like I'm going through the motions a bit. To be fair, I think in the past sort of few weeks, I'm happy with the steps I've taken. But before that, I guess with uni it's difficult because I'm spending a lot of time socially, so I've been kind of going through the motions. I'm not too worried about that, but just general planning, like when am I going to do these improvements, that kind of thing. So my task for the end of the week is just keep that current momentum. I mentioned before I do sourcing every couple of weeks, and I've got this Friday is that day, so I've got a few hundred units to, I'm guessing, I don't know exactly, but there's quite a lot of shit in my garage crop right now. So yeah, I need to do a lot of prep. That's to look forward to on Friday. So yeah, so as I said, on a weekly basis, I'm going to be doing accountability type thing. I'm not going to be doing videos for all of these because I don't think there's really any need. It takes quite a long time, I think probably longer than people think to do these videos. So I'm just going to be doing a post probably on a Sunday, if not on a Sunday night in the morning. But most Sunday nights I'll go over and go, have I done these steps? Is there anything extra I've done kind of thing? Is I've not done enough? If I haven't done it, why not? But yeah, it's just the accountability things. I've mentioned all these things before. I'm not going to waffle on too much. I'm conscious the video has already gone on for ages. I think this is probably my longest video. But in summary, the goal setting it's a work in progress. You got to be flexible, and while it is flexible, I think as I mentioned, the more time you put in, the better it's going to be. The aim is that each small goal and task is working towards longer term goals and then longer term goals again. So one task that you do on a daily basis will be working towards maybe your monthly goal, which will be working towards a yearly goal, which is working towards your longer term. So I don't know. Yeah. Accountability is going to help me achieve these. I hope so. Consistency will be key. I talked about that. There's no point just setting goals and then not doing them. I think these goals are kind of good because there's not too many. I think I've got clear reasons as to why I'm doing them, and so that helps. That kind of each one I've gone, why am I doing this type of thing, and that'll be key and consistent and motivating me to do these on a consistent basis. And then the planning will help with that consistency, because I know, as I mentioned, the exams are going to be a massive ball ache, obviously, but I think as long as I plan for it, should be all right. Yeah, I'm going to be doing weekly reviews, and finally, yeah, I'd like if people join me. I'm not saying you have to do a video, but maybe if you just have, even if it's just one goal, like set yourself in a year's time, one goal, think about it, why that goal, maybe what is it going to do for you in the longer term, and then go, okay, what tasks am I going to do that are going to help me reach that goal? So what am I going to be doing on a daily or weekly basis? What do I need to do? What do I need to have done by the next month? And then you can take it 1 month at a time. For example, you can plan it out as much or as little detail as you want. I think it's just important having that thing there. And then if you commented or whatever on this video, and then we can do the accountability type thing together. But yeah, I think let me just check my notes. I think that's all I wanted to cover. Yeah, pretty much. I know it's been a long video, but I think it was an important one. And I think for those of you that do put the effort in, it's going to be really rewarding. I know I think for me it's going to be really useful. But yeah, I mentioned the Facebook group. I'll post a link below. I'll post a link to the website as well in the description. Yeah, that's about all. If you do want to keep catching these videos that I do, feel free to subscribe and press that notification button, and then each Wednesday at the very least I'll be posting a video, and then sometimes it'll be 2, maybe even 3 times a week. But yeah, thank you. Have a good day, weekend, week, whatever it is.